Let me do a couple late-breaking news things. Number one, Myles Garrett just requested a trade from the Browns, and so I'll read you this. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl. That goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions. And then it goes on. It says, with that in mind, I've requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Signed, Myles Garrett. I don't blame him.
So he wants to go to the Cowboys.
He wants to go, and he wants a shot at winning because I think even he sees that even 2-3 years from now, it'll be difficult for what they have there. And a lot of that is based in the Deshaun Watson, we have no money and no quarterback situation.
Yeah.
And I think it probably sucks for him. And I think that's why he also puts out a statement is to be as transparent as possible. Most people, when they request a trade, they don't do it so publicly. He's doing that because he probably feels like he owes it to Cleveland to go, guys, I've loved it here, but I want to win.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget, and it gets into the Luka stuff too in a second, these are businesses. Like, these owners are no more loyal to you than you are to them, than our bosses are to us, than we are to them. These are businesses, these are companies. Everybody, every single person in this room is disposable. As soon as you're not producing more than you're making, you're done. And also, as from the player or talent perspective, if you're feeling like you're not getting enough for what you're doing, you can either wait for your contract to end or you can ask out. Now, our job's a little different. I can't really be traded.
No.
But
That'd be weird, though.
I know.
That'd be kind of cool.
It would be weird. It's like we got a bad Reid contract.
We got to dump the bad contract.
Yes. So he has requested to go. I thought that was interesting. It just popped across the line. So it'll probably be an hour or two old by the time this.
And you can't be mad as a Browns fan, right? You can be like, hey.
You cannot.
Yeah. He's always been good to them.
You can be disappointed, but I think you know the situation. You know the boiling pot that you're in.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
Yeah.
So
you're probably hoping, like, hey, hopefully he goes to a winning team as long as it's not the Ravens or the Steelers or something, maybe.
I think you root for him.
Yeah.
I also think that as a Browns fan, you go, that sucks. Like, defensive player of the year, domination. He's leaving. I get it. But also what's exciting is you're going to get a lot for it.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of picks. You're going to get a shot to rebuild, which isn't going to happen in the next year or probably two. But also with Deshaun's Achilles injury again, he's probably never going to play football again.
Yeah.
Also, he ruined it. And again, he was the first to get it. He also could have made it a thing. But the guaranteed contracts, he ruined it. That will not be a thing. Now, if he would have succeeded in Cleveland, I think you would have seen a lot of quarterbacks getting it and being like Deshaun Watson got it. But he killed any chance of that happening.
Yep.
So, okay, that's number one. And number two, and again, we are, as of now, right now, mostly a football podcast. But when I saw the Luka AD trade come across, I, like everybody else, thought that like Shams was hacked.
Right.
Yeah. I thought I really did. Yeah. Or at first I thought it was one of those parody accounts on Twitter. And then I saw the check mark, but then anybody can buy a check mark, but then it's a gold check mark if you're like a business, a media platform. And
Super
I was like,
legit.
wow.
Yeah, what's your checklist? Like, do you just go Google and see if any other outlet is covered?
I immediately went to ESPN because I knew on their website there would be no sort of hacking.
Yeah.
And so that was a crazy trade.
Insane.
So again, I've watched and I've heard a million people talk about it. My even understanding from people I know that are 3 degrees from the organization, not of LA, but of the Mavericks. There are things I think that we don't even know about how bad it had gotten between Luka and the Mavericks. And they also were going to have to pay him $380 million for a Supermax deal. They didn't want to do that because they didn't feel like his body was going. And I think, too, you're seeing with Joel Embiid exactly what happens when you pay somebody like that and they're hurt all the time because they can't keep their body in shape. And I think
Leonard as well. Right?
Yeah. And I think they didn't want to get involved in one of those. I have friends that are diehard Mavericks fans that have just been gutted by it.
Yeah.
Gutted.
Especially when you have no idea.
Correct. And the fact they were able to keep that quiet for 2 weeks.
Props.
And that Jason Kidd didn't even know. And he's the coach of the Mavericks.
It's wild. And
Nothing is secret.
But for real, he didn't know? Like, for real?
He said he didn't. I watched him at the press conference. Again, he could be a great actor.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Luka definitely didn't know, right?
nobody
Doesn't
knew.
seem like it.
Yeah, nobody knew. And I imagine, too, he has this season and next season, and then it's sign an extension or get the most you can get for him. And if you're already not feeling it, you got to get the most you can get, and they knew it was not going to be a popular trade. But that's the craziest trade I've ever seen. I think it may be one of the craziest ever in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, I'm trying to think and not be like hyperbole here, but probably the craziest of my lifetime in the NBA, especially.
Yeah, I mean, the compensation, too, was not even that much. I mean, like Rudy Gobert was like, what, 4 first-round picks? This was only 1 first-round pick.
Well, but AD, though, is better than any pick. I mean,
that's
he's
true, but yeah.
perennially the first or second defensive player of the year behind Gobert, or Wemby now, too. And offensively, if he can stay healthy, and he has stayed pretty healthy. But again, the fact they didn't open it up and say, hey, we're offering Luka, who will give us what? All the conspiracy theorists are out.
And let it be a bidding war from there.
Right.
And the Lakers. I mean, it's the Lakers. And then the Mavericks play in the West, and they're going to see them possibly win for the next 10 years.
I was thinking, though, like, who, if you were to just to walk down, and we won't spend a whole bunch of time talking about basketball on Super Bowl week, but this was a crazy, crazy trade. I was thinking, like, if I went number 1 down as far as the best players in the NBA, and who, because you want to get a great play. You just don't want to get a bunch of picks because picks a lot of times don't pan out.
Yeah.
So you definitely need something extremely substantive from this trade. So, okay, who's not going to get traded? Jokic is not getting traded,
yeah.
so he's probably number 1. You can go. Giannis is not getting traded from the Bucks.
Yeah.
I'd say SGA in OKC.
Oklahoma City not leaving.
Yeah.
Then you can go. Anthony Edwards is not leave.
Right.
They're not going to get it from it. Also, that one just that one wouldn't make sense anyway.
Yeah. Tatum
not leaving from Boston. So
yeah.
you get to like the 8th or 9th guy, and he's like the best one of it. You want something substantive. I think that, and they got a 29 first.
Yeah.
Crazy trade. Saturday was crazy in general.
Yeah. I woke up at 3 a.m. and saw it, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing. I fell asleep and I woke up to it. Yeah, crazy.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Same.
I was just like, man, somebody hacked, or it's a parody account. Then when I saw it on ESPN, I was like, dang, I can't wait to hear what Bill Simmons says about this.
I know.
And that's what I did. I know, yeah.
The emergency
I listened to the whole
pod.
thing yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
You go to certain people for certain things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was it. So that Saturday in general, and I'll just kind of walk you through my Saturday night. So the Luka thing, the Luka AD trade was crazy. Coach Cal goes into Rupp, and obviously I'm a big Razorback fan. We have not had a good season. A couple of those reasons are, one, when Cal came to the team, there were no players on the team at all. So he had to kind of start from scratch. He didn't even sign 10 guys. He signed 9 guys, 9 scholarship players. There's been a bunch of injuries. Also, they haven't gelled. We've spent a bunch of money on the players. It has not been really the year that we had hoped for. It's been very disappointing. We were 1-6 in conference play, like 14-8 overall, but you play they basically played us for 3 games. They played the Whistles basketball team. So
5 of us, so yeah.
There we go.
Let's go.
Arkansas goes to Rupp, which is Lexington, to play Cal's old team, and they booed him hard. And I did not know how he would be received because he did win them a national championship, many Final Fours, definitely had the program at an elite level. And regardless of what they say, they ran him out. Had it not been so toxic, and he did come up short in the last couple tournament appearances, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so toxic for him, even though they officially didn't fire him, they ran him out. He would not have been open to coming to Arkansas had it not been a completely toxic situation in Kentucky. So he wins them a championship, makes the program, keeps it respectable, beyond respectable, and they run him out, and then they boo him. It wasn't like he just left. I would love for him to say, you know what, he decided Kentucky wasn't for him. He's coming to where the grass is greener, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Not really the case.
Yeah.
So he comes, they boo the crap out of him. Now, I bet on the game. It was Arkansas plus 9.5 when it started. So I was like, I think we'll probably hang in there. Maybe we can keep it close. And I put like $250 on it. Dude, it was not a game. Like we were up like 13, 14, 17. It got to be within 5 or 6 in the second half. Their fans were leaving. It was awesome. I don't troll much. But I constantly catch strays from Kentucky basketball fans for no reason. They just tag me in things constantly. I have not said one thing about Kentucky basketball. I like Mark Pope, their coach. I think it's awesome. Former player goes, has success at BYU, comes back, brings some of his guys with him. Like he's like the guy he was on Patino's team. I love that story. But they keep coming at me. I didn't steal Cal. Cal wanted to leave. And so I was ready. Once it got to be like 8 or 9 minutes left and we were up by double digits.
Locked and loaded?
Well, I started loading the tweets.
A couple drafts written
Well,
up.
I did. And I had a couple that I put too much thought in. And I was like, you know what? Not going to post that. Finally, as soon as the buzzer hit, I simply hit him with 2 words. LOL, Kentucky. That's all I put. Send. Dude. It was like somebody dropped a nuclear bomb. And so people coming at me, people telling me how we suck now. So then someone goes, LOL, yourself 2-6. So I quote retweet that and say, which is why it's even more embarrassing.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was awesome. We may never win a conference game after this.
It's okay.
And I wish we did, and it sucks because my favorite things are Arkansas football, Arkansas basketball. It's been very disappointing, but that was a fun one. I don't think it would have been as fun had they not booed the crap out of him at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, you guys ran him off, and now you're booing that he came back.
Yeah.
And so that was a fun one. So my Saturday night was that game, and then I watched 5 hours of the Royal Rumble.
Oh, wow.
And I'll
5
do
hours.
I'll do a whole breakdown after I watched. It came on at 5 p.m. and it wasn't over till after 10.
Wow.
And I have a 3-screen upstairs where I have a middle screen for PlayStation, and then I have 2 screens, different Rokus that I can watch, like YouTube TV and a channel, or then I watch Peacock and watch Royal Rumble. So I had everything on, and so watch the Royal Rumble on Peacock. It was free. It's unbelievable. I didn't have to buy a pay-per-view. So yeah, that was my Saturday night in a full Royal Rumble. Even for non-wrestling fans, I think you're going to like it. I have a full breakdown coming up. But the shocking thing was John Cena did not win. And it was his last Royal Rumble ever. 30 people come out, one at a time. You don't know who's coming out. Next person walks down. Sometimes there are surprises. Sometimes it's old wrestlers you haven't seen in a while. Sometimes it's new. And John Cena comes out at I'm going to say 26 or something. Not sure that's the number. And he comes in and he's like, last one. He says it. He's got the crowd's going crazy. One of the biggest pops of the night. They knew he was going to be in it. And he gets down to the final 2, and it's obviously he's going to win because they're setting him up for WrestleMania to be in the main event because the winner wrestles for the championship at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And he's wrestling a guy that, if you're not a hardcore fan, you don't really know. He'd been great as a tag team champion, but babyface guy, but not really super known by casuals. And John Cena has him on the apron, and John Cena, I end up crying. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I want to tell you why though. John Cena ends up losing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody expected it because once it was Cena, you're like, oh, this is for sure, and he loses. But John Cena is known for being a guy about the business, and he totally allowed. It was all guys wrestling scripted.
Yeah, we know that.
okay.
Really?
Just making sure you know. But he totally put him over, and then he walks in and hugs him and lifts his arm. I mean, he was anointing okay, you're now a guy.
Yeah.
It was super cool because Cena easily has the prominence to go, no, I'm not coming back unless I win. And he got right to the end, and then he lost.
So it was emotional in a good way.
Oh, yeah. I was
Got it.
emotional that Cena was cool enough to do that,
Yeah.
to come back to put someone over. And I was like, just like human, that's awesome because he definitely did not have to do that. And he could have said, I'm not coming back unless I'm winning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool. But I got a lot to say about it. We'll get to it coming up.
Royal Rumble.
Dude, it was awesome.
I saw some old clips this week because it was leading up to it. When I was a kid watching it,
Rikishi
Rikishi?
from
Yeah.
Too Cool, right? Something?
Yeah, it brought back some nostalgia for sure. The Royal Rumble was awesome.
Back in the day it was awesome. And they've kept the same format except now it's so much of a build. They don't tell you what order they're coming out. Way back in the day, they would kind of say who was coming out in what order. It was like a bit leading up to it, or segments for a while. I'm coming out 5th, but now at times just
No idea.
surprise people come out. So I think you'll like me talking about it, even if you're not a wrestling fan. So all that to say, we do want to take a little break because we're going to come back and we're going to talk with Clark Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the CEO. He's the head executive. And just thought it was super cool he wanted to be on the show.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah.
I didn't reach out to them, which is even cooler. They kind of reached out to me, and then I got a really nice message afterward.
From Mr. Hunt?
No.
Oh,
but from...
I was like, Jerry and Mr. Hunt?
No.
Kidding, dude.
Yeah.
It says, from Clark Hunt's office, this guy's, I won't say his whole name, but his name's Chris. He works for Mr. Hunt. He said this, quote, Bobby's awesome. Thanks for reaching out. He really might be the single best at this. Absolutely love his show and his energy. Been a listener for a long time. Very cool to get to work with you guys.
Wow.
So that's somebody. So somebody knew us and recommended him to come on the show, and so he did.
That's cool.
awesome.
So we'll talk to him coming up in just a second because it is Super Bowl week. I would recommend that you get ready. Hey, by the way, guys, get your DraftKings in before we go.
Yeah, I was wondering
Oh,
that.
good call. Good call. Because we don't know where we're going to be.
Well, we do know where we're
Whoa.
going to be.
Well, where we can play.
Wow. Oh, good point.
Yes,
Yeah.
So we're
Hines,
going
yeah.
through Georgia.
Mm.
You may look and see, but I don't think Louisiana is Louisiana. Are you able to
I don't
use
think
DraftKings?
so.
I don't
Not
either.
sure.
I don't either. Some states you can't. You can do pick six in a lot of states, so you can't do DraftKings. I'm just saying that straight up. Do we know what? So here's what's happening. All DraftKings customers can place any touchdown bet on Super Bowl 59 and get it matched as a bonus bet in the amount of your original bet. Max reward varies. It's the last chance to bet on the NFL this season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code BobbySports. One word. That's the code BobbySports. Place any touchdown bet on Super Bowl 59 and get it matched as a bonus bet in the amount of your original bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help's available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. One bonus bet per customer based on amount of initial touchdown bet. Maximum reward varies. Bonus bet expires 2/16/25 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.